Welcome back, everyone, and we will wrap up our post-game press conference with head coach Dean Hood. Coach, finally got it. First win, first thoughts, and we'll open up to questions.
Yeah, we won 19-3. The horse is made ready for battle, but victory belongs to the Lord. You know, we are very, very blessed to get this win. You know, it's a thing I've learned through this trying time is, you know, winning a football game was my God. And this has really taught me that winning a game is a gift from God. And we are very, very blessed. And I've, you know, been doing this 35 years. I couldn't be prouder of a football team because these guys are winners. You know, we've been a letdown with our record, but they have never let up, and they have never, you know, they're winners. They not one time blame somebody or something else. And you could come out to one of our practices and you couldn't tell if we were 0-8 or 8-0. Those kids have just worked, you know, through very, very adverse situations. It's the toughest group that I've ever been around. I'm honored to be their coach, and really, really blessed for these guys to stay together like they have and come out and fight again like they did, and have faith in the finish. I mean, that's our job in this thing, is to prepare and believe. And they believed in each other and played their tails off, and it's good to get a victory.
Dean, what was it like to see that post-game celebration where they were finally able to sing to the crowd?
It's so good. You know, as a dad, you're you know, you're only as happy as your saddest child, you know? So, I mean, when you see them, you know, like I said, they've battled, but it hasn't been easy. You know, I've seen many of them downcast and you know, fighting through it. You know, man, you just see them fighting through the darkness, and myself included. You know, so to go in the locker room and just see them with, you know, pure joy of you know, jumping around and dancing and all that stuff. It was fun to watch.
Coach, I asked Cade this. It seems like your guys' defense has looked very good all season, I would argue. A few games here and there where maybe it wasn't playing up to par, but today it felt like everything clicked, especially on offense. How does it feel to be able to put everything together like you guys did today?
Yeah, I mean, we're really blessed in a lot of situations, you know, but as you say, the defense playing well, it all goes hand in hand. You know, we rushed for 194 yards, you know, so it was an extension, really. I think Lindenwood, we finally got going with our running game. I think we had a healthy Spoon. I think Austin P, he was almost there. He's 100% Lindenwood, now 100% here. You know, Tez Jones is running well, you know, and I think our O-line has just gotten better. That's one place we have not been injured, and those guys have just gotten better every week. And when you run the ball on offense, you know, that helps your defense. You know, we were playing, you know, 89, 95 snaps, you know, early in the year when we couldn't run the ball and we were turning it over. You know, we didn't turn the ball over, and you had 194 yards rushing and they had 77, you know, so it all works together, you know, and we did a little better special teams wise, you know, one kickoff return for us, you know, on us. But other than that, I think we did a good job in the kicking game as far as our coverage units, you know, punt and kickoff, and that helped. We hit a safe punt deal that, you know, gave them the ball on the 20 and should have pinned them, but you know, that helped our defense as well. But you know, they played inspired, they played for each other, you know, they played for, you know, the guys that had wore their jersey number that was sitting in the stands, you know, our former players that are back on a great homecoming crowd. You know, just really, really good performance.
I know something today with Spoon. 3 or 4 weeks ago, some runs he was making probably are making -3. Today, even something as short as 2 or 3 yards. That's a big difference. That's what you've been talking about with Spoon.
Yeah, with him being healthy, you know,
yes,
that's the difference. You know, that's a thing. It's, you know, difficult as a coach when you got somebody like Spoon, you know, and you ask him, "Are you okay?" You know, the answer is yes. I mean, he could have got shot with a shotgun in the leg, you know, and stabbed in the arm. And hey, are you good to go? Yeah. You know, so, you know, it's difficult because, you know, then you put him out there and then you watch him and you're like, no, he's not himself, you know. So just what you speak of, there was, you know, those games where he's going out there, but wasn't really him, and he couldn't do those things where it should be a 2-yard loss and he gets a 2-yard gain, which makes a big difference, 2nd and 8 versus, 2nd and 12.
I also want to have a follow-up here. Was the quarterback that they had today not the one that drove the field on y'all, Austin P, in the spring season?
Yeah, same guy,
And
that's
y'all
a
sacked him
kid.
5 times
Yeah.
today.
And he's a dual threat guy. I mean, we played down there in the spring, for a conference championship. We win that game and we win a conference championship, and he drove down the last, drive, which really that was a coaching error. That we weren't down, so I wasn't using timeouts, and should have used the timeouts. We didn't give our offense. I didn't give our offense enough time because that game turned into whoever had the ball last, and they drove it down there and kicked the field goal with basically 1 second on the clock. Should have used timeouts and give our offense some more time. But yes, he's the guy that was a dual threat that ate us up, throwing the ball in, running it.
And today, y'all controlled him big time.
Yeah, I think up front, our D line did a unbelievable job against their O line, and then we really fit the run well. I mean, it's hard to go through a game without any misfits. And I think we fit up. You have to watch the film. It's never as good as you think it is. It's never bad as you think it is. But I don't remember one time, hearing on the headset or seeing it visually that we misfit a run and they got free yards.
Coach, I asked Kay this question, but I mean, you've got some clear veterans that are helping you out in a lot of different phases of the game, but a lot of young guys having to step into some of these positions. I know some of that's injury, but what is it like for you as a longtime head coach to see the young guys figure it out?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing about, you don't ever want, you don't want injuries in this game at any level, but, at the FCS level with, not having 85 scholarships, so you're down as far as your depth, and at the quarterback position is the area where it's a really, a killer. But what, injuries does is, it gives your team, the next man up mentality, and also gives your team youth that are getting reps that they probably wouldn't get, so that's what's happening in a lot of position. There's a lot of guys, having to step up and, done well, with DJ out, we had guys come in, Maui came in, McNamee came in, those guys all got reps. Tez Brooks, got some reps as at Wildcat, quarterback. And, and then now after, Stinson finally got, where he could play, he's getting, all those reps, at wide out, Tez Brooks was out for a little bit, and you get Q Mays come in and do well, lost our deep threat in Jay Bell, and Shields has come in and done, outstanding. It's been a Rolodex with the running backs, with which guys in there, so there's a lot of spots, man, where you're getting young guys in because of injuries. And, it makes it more difficult, to win a game, but it does set you up for, guys being developed for the future.
We'll go to Blake Sandlin.
Hey, Dean, how frustrating have these first 8 weeks been for you personally as a coach and for this team, as you guys have done a lot of good things, or have just kind of broken down the stretch, but to finally complete a game and to get this first win, how much more do those struggles maybe make you appreciate the wins when you can get them?
Yeah, like I said in the opening statement, it's really transformed me with, really realizing that you win a football game, it's a blessing. It's not you're smarter than the other guy or your team's better. It's you're blessed to win a game. That's what's, happened with me. You don't go through these times and not be transformed. You're coming out of them either better or bitter. And that's a thing that's, thank the Lord that this team has stayed together. It's not been any Vince Lombardi speech by me or anything. It's just been truly a blessing from the Lord that our kids have stayed together. And because of that, they've learned some, some valuable lessons. And, they've learned if you don't grow weary and lose heart, you will reap a harvest. When is that going to be? I don't know. And what is that going to look like? I don't know. Today it showed up as a win in a college football game, but they've learned that. They've learned that if you just keep persevering and just keep doing the next right thing and keep believing, it's not about the amount of faith that you have. It's about the object of your faith. And I think a lot of our kids, have understood that now, having gone through this.
And I know it's late in the year, but do you see a win like this kind of galvanizing your group now that you guys have finally gotten the monkey off your back, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, being in that locker room, it's very evident that our guys realize that they're blessed and very excited, not only for themselves, but for each other. These kids have played, for each other. That's what helps you get through something like this is there's a bigger cause. Anytime somebody does something through, something that's very, very adverse, like being 0-8, in a football game. And it's, we would never, diminish it or minimize it either. We didn't allow ourselves to do that. It is, you have to have perspective. It is just a football game. But our coaches give 80 hours a week to prepare, and the kids, give blood, sweat, and tears, man. It's a personal thing, so we never minimized it, so for them to hang in there and to fight for something bigger, meaning their brother next to them, it was really special to be in that locker room and see him overjoyed and dancing and having fun.
Coach, I'll ask the last question. You had a team impact program kid come through you this weekend, Mr. Leo,
Yeah.
and talk about how the impact that he had on you guys, especially with Tez Jones, who looked like he really took like a leadership role in that regard.
Yeah, that's, you talk about, we didn't want to minimize it. It's just a college football game that we lost. But it is just a game. That's, you look at somebody like Leo DeVore and what he's dealing with, this is child's play, a football game compared to his fight and his battle and what he's going through. And it was, just really neat. We had a signing day, yesterday. And that's the thing too. Our guys, they've learned so many lessons. I ain't got time to say them all, but, they've learned a lesson of, when they're a father or when they're a leader or when they're a husband, that, you don't bring work home. You don't bring what you're dealing with, home, because these kids, they've been fighting through a lot. And like I said, I've seen them downcast. I've seen them, fighting, battling through this darkness, but you wouldn't know it when they're with Leo, and that's a beautiful thing to watch, because that's being a dad. You're going to get beat up at the office. You're going to get beat up at work, and you come home, and you can't let your kids know that, you had a bad day at the office. It's got to get engaged and do what you need to do. And that's what I've seen. It's been an awesome thing to watch, our guys with Leo. I mean, you wouldn't know we were 0-8 or 8-0 last night at the team dinner when Leo signed his national letter of intent and, was officially a part of our team. The way our guys were responding and cheering, it was really nice to see.
Yeah, that'll do it. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thanks.
Now we'll wrap it up for our post-game Zoom for this week. Next week will be an open week for the football team before they return home for senior day and their final home game of the season against Robert Morris on November the 12th.